Hello and welcome back to our kickoff streams. My name is Jess, and today we have another exciting project for you to dive into. The One World project competitive audit has gone live today, so we are going to run through those contracts today and see what's there and learn a little bit more about the project. So the contest went live at midday today, only 30 minutes ago, and the prize pool is $15,000. So we will be talking through this today. We have the founder and Alan, the developer, here on the stream to talk through this with us and get more insight. As always, if you have any questions about this repo, please post them in the chat and we will discuss them at the end of today's stream. Now, before we welcome our guests onto the stage, let's quickly take a look at what this contest is about. So, One World Project. The One World Project leverages blockchain technology to revolutionize global capital markets. By democratizing access to funding and resources, we empower communities, foster economic growth, and create sustainable financial opportunities worldwide. So let's take a look at what these smart contracts are about. Let's welcome to the stage Nick and Alan. Welcome to this stream. Please quickly introduce yourselves.
Yeah, thank you, Jess. Appreciate that warm introduction. So my name is Nicholas Gibbs. I'm the founder and CEO of One World Project. I'm an electrical engineer by trade. I served with the Royal Navy from 2000 to 2007, and then I've worked on global power and infrastructure projects for the last 20 years. That's a small piece about myself. I'll let Alan jump in and say a piece for Alan, then we'll talk a little bit about the project.
Sure. Yeah, my name is Alan Tomini. I'm a software developer. My background actually sort of scientific software development and optimization. But I've been working in the kind of Web3 space for a number of years now in kind of distributed compute and building infrastructure, consensus algorithms, that kind of stuff for blockchain. So yeah, I'm here as the sort of nominated developer to just go through the contracts.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Before we get into these contracts, Nick has a few words to say about the project itself. Give us a little bit more information about the backstory and its functionality.
Absolutely. So look, I firstly want to just thank anybody that has come along today and anybody that will participate in the audit. This has been 3 years of R&D, 3 years of development and work to get to this point. So for us, it's a very exciting day. I'm sure for you guys, it's relatively normal, but for us, it's a big day. So I just wanted to thank everybody that's turned up to begin with. I mean, our mission is, like we say, to support startup projects and infrastructure for communities, under-resourced, overpopulated, under-resourced communities that currently don't have the access to participation and access to opportunity. So our members will be able to directly interact with projects under incubation or communities taking on infrastructure projects, taking paid roles and equity shares. They become value parts of the projects they support. So it's a global initiative. We currently have 11 partners globally. Ambassadors, our ambassador team are global as well in all corners of the planet, working together for a common good, which is to try to create an ecosystem that offers support, mentorship, finance and partnerships to projects under incubation through a distributed and participation-based model. So, I mean, ultimately, the platform itself is an MVP. This is our first attempt. We've got MVP 2 and 3 to come after this. So we'll continue to build. But again, we believe everyone should have the right to invest their time, their knowledge, and have opportunities. And these opportunities we feel that we can bring with the One World Project platform. Again, you know, one of the simplest things we see is electrical. In my electrical engineering world, is that, you know, electrical engineering is one thing, and electrical utilities are costly, and lots of communities globally don't have them. We feel that communities should be able to participate in infrastructure projects to be able to generate better outcomes. So that's a little bit about the project. I'll let Jess take back over. I'm a bit nervous. Cheers, guys.
No, absolutely. Thank you very much for that, Nick. Next, we will be running into those contracts in a little bit more detail with Alan. Please bear with us because I will be sharing my screen as Alan talks through these contracts, but hopefully we'll get a little bit more insight into the functionality within them and the roles that different people can have and how they can play with these smart contracts. So, Alan, where would you like to start in these contracts?
If you, sorry, 2 seconds. I think probably the best way would be to kind of start the membership factory. I think it's basically the backbone of the DAO. So I think that probably is the best place to start. I think so. Let's see. Okay, cool. So yeah, this basically forms the membership factory. The membership factory contract basically enables the creation and management of the DAOs, and we're using the ERC 1155 membership tokens. So the core functions for this really include the kind of create new DAO membership, which sets up the structures, update the DAO membership, which basically is you can modify tier configurations, and then the join DAO function, which basically allows users to purchase memberships. There are some administrative functions such as set currency manager, and then set the base URL or URI, sorry, which basically allow updating of key parameters. And then there's a call external contract, which basically enables controlled interactions with external contracts. So the key audit areas for this, really, in my opinion, would be things like the DAO creation and configuration, verifying tier configurations and they're actively initialized, and also update any or updates without breaking any existing membership structures, but also external interactions. So ensuring that the call external contract function is secure and focuses on because there's a role-based access part to that. So that would be the kind of the core components of the membership factory. I guess the next bit would be to move to the membership ERC 1155 contract. That's the core for handling the membership tokens and the profit sharing functionalities. So I think that's probably a logical extension to get to the if you go to the membership ERC 1155 contract, that is in there you go. Okay, cool. So that one there, basically, that particular contract, so it's designed to issue the ERC 1155 tokens, and these tokens represent the DAO memberships, and they basically has, like I said before, profit sharing capabilities, and we're using OpenZeppelin's access control and Safe ERC 20 modules. We're kind of, obviously there's issues with potentially different tokens that could be used as currency, but there is a kind of a whitelisting mechanism that means that we're not letting any token be used right now, and hopefully the Safe ERC 20 combination of that and the whitelist for the token or the currencies is enough. There are roles within the contract. So there's the One World project factory role and a DAO creator role, and those control token minting. The key functions in here that probably of interest really are the mint for the DAO membership tokens and the weighted profit sharing system that calculates the member payouts based on their token holdings. So in terms of audit areas, I would say that the profit sharing and claims part, so total profit, saved profit, last profit, and the mappings will play a key role in that, and making sure that the precise calculations of share of, so there's no discrepancies that we get. There are external calls within this contract as well to the call external contract. So, it's a nice flexible way of working, but it does introduce potential re-entrancy and unhandled failure exceptions. We think we've got most of those covered based on the private audit. And there's obviously role-based permissions there as well. So we need to make sure that these are all assigned correctly and that they, we don't get any unauthorized minting and burning or profit distribution. In terms of the next contract, let's jump over to the currency manager. So the currency manager contract, you got that one, cool. So the currency manager contract manages the list of whitelisted currencies for DAO transactions. So basically, it's a simple way to add and remove functions, but as long as you have admin role, basically that should prevent unauthorized currencies being used in the contracts. The fairly standard vectors for testing here would be the role permissions, so the admin role, and making sure there's no unauthorized changes being made to the whitelist, and the data access patterns that are being used. So making sure that the functions like view whitelisted currencies perform consistently and they'll safeguard access to any issues. So those are kind of the basic ones. The last one is the One World project identity contract. Basically, that is the one where we've got. So the One World project identity project basically is the identity management contract. So it's also based on the ERC 1155 standard. It manages the creation and burning and URI modifications of the NFTs, so within the entire ecosystem. And they basically support linking metadata to the token IDs. So this contract basically restricts NFT transfers to ensure they're not transferable among users, and also allows minting and burning via the minting role or the minter role. So auditing areas for this particular contract would be the minting and burning functions, ensuring that there's controlled access to the mint and the burn function, and that's pretty crucial to the secure identity management parts of the platform, and also URI management and transfer restrictions. So verifying that metadata updates are secure and consistent, and that the transfer restrictions are enforced correctly. And basically maintain a secure platform. So those are the four kind of main contract points within the system. The four contracts basically contribute to the DAO framework, and we hope with a robust role-based access and external call management and secure patterns. The README that's in the repository basically contains all of the information about deploying. There's a simple deploy script to the system, and it's working on Polygon at the moment. So you'll need to go and grab plenty of USDC from the relevant faucet, and that's pretty much it in terms of the kind of general tour through the contracts. Okay.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Alan. That was very detailed, exactly what we were looking for. Hopefully that has given the auditors a little bit of a head start, a jump start into the contest. Just to answer some of the questions within the live chat, somebody has asked what the scope is. So the scope is on the CodeHawks website. You can see that OWP identity.sol contract is within the scope for this audit. So if there are any vulnerabilities in there, make sure to get those submitted. There is all the information on the CodeHawks website. You can see contest details, getting started, known issues, and the scope. In terms of known issues, we have attached the private audit report. So our private auditors here at Cyfrin have been over this code base, and now we're letting it go into the wild for the contest to see what you guys can find. Let's see what's going on here. Equus says, folks are having issues running tests when building. If some advice could be offered in the server or a demo, perhaps. Alan, if you've not got anything on the spot right now, please check out in the Discord and answer these questions there about tests. And I can't just tell you we're having problems with tests and expect you to know the answer. But Alan will be available in the Discord throughout this week to answer any questions like that. Any problems and concerns about the repo, any questions about the intended functionality, pop them in the Discord. It is linked in the description below, and we'll get those answered for you as soon as possible. Jesus Oct said this code base doesn't contain changes made after the Cyfrin private audit, right? No, it does include changes. So mitigations have been made. The private auditors at Cyfrin reviewed the code base, mitigations have been made, and now this is the updated repo. So if you find any new vulnerabilities, make sure to submit them over on CodeHawks. Zumba Zumzum says, it is said that a user that has completed the sign up and KYC process. What is the KYC process? Nick, you may be best to answer this, but open to you both.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of the KYC process, so we've kind of designed a slightly novel process because we understand the complications with KYC and data management in Web3. So on Fido, the partner there, on entering the system, there's a small registration form to populate. When we get to the point where somebody wants to participate in a DAO or launch a DAO or do something functional that requires inputs and outputs from a financial perspective, we have the KYC notification at that stage. Once KYC'd, that then is connected to the identity NFT, which means that their non-fungible token now becomes a KYC'd wallet ID. Data is then can be requested to be removed within 24 hours, and all data is deleted once the non-fungible token has been verified as a KYC asset. And then post that, once the KYC is completed, then obviously all functions should be available then, from creation of DAO, becoming a trustee within the DAO, creating proposals within the DAO, financial proposals, governance proposals, etc. So that's the general flow of the KYC process.
Amazing, thank you. And we have a question here about the tiering for a user. What tier can a user enter at, and what are the tiers?
Yeah, so it's kind of endlessly scalable. So you can have anything from so there's three areas here. You have a public DAO, you have a private DAO, and then you have a DAO that's structured with the tokenomics modeling that we've created with Machinations, the tokenomics experts. So within those three areas, you have a private DAO, which is non-visible to the public domain on the platform. You have the public DAOs, which are public, but then they can have their own, the DAO members choose the amount of tiers and the amount of members and the amount to be raised. And then you have a public structure, which is our tokenomics, which is 19,825 max cap, and etc. So actually, in terms of the tiers, they are, it can be one tier, it can be 7 tiers. Okay, so say for instance we're a team, we're a board of 6, and we have a certain amount of capital to distribute. We can have a single tier, and then that means equal property rights, equal distribution of revenues and rewards. Or we can have a larger group where it's, for instance, tiers 1 to 7, and then it's fractionalized. The math, the tokenomics does the math, and then it splits it out exactly in linear proportion to the amount of input. So I hope that answers the question without being a bit long-winded. But ultimately, you have public, okay, visible, and tiers 1 to 7. You have private, which can be tiers 1 to 7, again, not
Sorry, Nick, we lost you for a second then, but I think you're back.
Oh, I'm not sure where I got up to, but yeah, so basically just a really quick recap then, so I don't bore everybody. 3 tiers. We have public, we have private, and we have the structured, 1WP structured. Public is obviously public, and they can have tiers 1 to 7, okay, and they can raise as much as they're looking to raise. You have private, which is, again, they can choose tiers 1 to 7 and raise how much they need to raise. Or you have the structured 1WP tokenomics, which is 7 tiers, allows access to everybody from tier 1 to tier 7, and it fractionalizes the inputs and the outputs based on the tokenomics.
Amazing. Thank you very much. If anybody does have any other questions, please just head over to the Discord. As I said, the link is in the description below. There is a channel specifically for this contest. So even if you don't have any questions yourself, make sure to join and you can see other people's questions and the answers they got to help maybe steer you in the right direction. But that is all that we wanted to cover today. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope this has been helpful. Any questions, head over to the Discord, but we will be back very soon. Thank you very much for watching.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.